What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast, and welcome to this edition of Black Friday. I'm your host, Slash, and with me I got Comedian 96, K-Money, and Freddie G. Together, we the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe, plus follow us on Twitter, 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, and welcome back to another Black Friday. Got another great topic for you today. We're going to talk about the diversity in Black America. Of course, we know that there are several different types of Black Americans that lives in a community. You have the educated Black American, you have the lazy Black American, you have the sports Black American, you have the rapper Black American, you have the youth American. I mean, you have so many differences or diversities in Black America. But what I want to talk about are the main ones in particular where I think we need to reach, which would be the successful Black American, and what would it take for us to get there. You can't be the lazy American or lazy Black American and become successful. I've never seen that happen, because anything that's worth having is worth working for. That's one of the things we got to realize. If we're going to get to a certain place, we can't be lazy and do it. Now, it's a lot of lazy people out here, and when I mean lazy, it could be the person that stand on the corner and beg for money. Of course, that's poverty, but it can also be the person that works a fast food job at a certain age and just said, you know what, this is all I'm good at. And if you at about, I'm going to say 30 something years old working fast food in Black America, I think it's because you were a bit lazy somewhere down the line. Now, unless you've been incarcerated for a certain amount of time and you've came out of jail and you went and got a job at a fast food restaurant, I respect that, because what you did was you put your pride aside and said, you know what, I'm not going to worry about what my peers say or what my peers think about me or how much money I'm making. I'm just going to do what I need to do to take care of myself, which makes you a responsible American at that point in time. But in order to be the successful American, I think the most important thing for us in Black America to understand is the education is very, very, very important in order to being this successful Black person. And whatever it is you want to do, you have to educate yourself. You have to know what it is you're dealing with. You have to know how to read between the lines. So researching is extremely important. The successful Black American, to me, would be the doctors, the lawyers, the real estate agents. It's a lot, and others. You got Black judges now, so it's a lot of different Black Americans that are holding these jobs that's making them successful. So in order to be successful at whatever you want to do, you don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, or realtor. That's not what's going to make. That may not be the niche for you to be successful. You have to find out what's important to you. What can you do good at, and make yourself successful in that area. But you have to do education. You have to educate yourself on the skills that you have that fit that particular successful job. And I think that's where we go wrong at, because when we send these kids to school, we send them to school and say, hey, go get your lesson, da-da-da-da-da-da. But we never tell them what they need to be going to school for, most of the time. And I think that's where the issue lies. So when these kids go to school, they get sidetracked by all the stuff that's going on in the classrooms, the tablets, the cell phones, the other kids making noise or rapping or whatever they doing. They get sidetracked. So instead of us telling our kid, hey, you need to get up and make sure you go to school on time, we need to tell them why it's important for them to be there on time, which is, in order to get where you want to get in life, if you want to be successful, you need to do this, and you need to be consistent at doing this the right way. And you need to be consistent at learning itself. They can't just go to school. It's not teaching you nothing if you're not learning. So they have to know how to learn, what to learn. But I think it starts in the home. You have to start teaching these kids the importance of being successful in the Black community. Because if you don't do that, I think that's where you lose off the muscle, because now they don't have nothing to look forward to. They're going to do what Lil Johnny do down the street. When Lil Johnny out there selling whatever he's selling, they following Lil Johnny. Lil Johnny done got a gun now, so he done created a gang. Because you haven't told them how important it is to be successful, you can't explain to them why Johnny ain't successful. Johnny got a gun, Mom. He's successful. That's not success. You have to know how to tell or teach your kids what successful is and what's not successful. Johnny gonna be successful at going to jail. Johnny gonna be successful in prison.
Yep. I think part of the problem with trying to, and I do agree, education is extremely important. But I do feel that you can be successful without, having a college education.
Right.
If I was going to suggest or advise anything, it was to definitely get you at least 12 years of from first to 12.
Just basic education.
Right. Yeah. And then if you can find a trade, like you say, find something that you're interested in, then you can you have to, like you say, research and learn more about that trade. However, I do feel that part of the problem with trying to convince or show these kids that education is extremely as important, or not as extremely as important, but showing them is what they're seeing on social media.
Right.
They're seeing a lot of things on social media where it doesn't involve having an education.
Right.
That makes them want to be like.
Yeah, because they want to be influencers and they want to make the money offline. And see, here's the thing about that. There's gonna be successful people at that. It's just not gonna be everybody.
Right.
That's gonna be a certain select few that's gonna make it to that. That's just like being a superstar or an artist or being a singer or a rapper or something. It's only a hand-picked few that's gonna get to that. So don't try to be successful in something that it doesn't fit you.
Yeah, here's the thing with that. Like with education, yeah, of course you tell the kids how important it is to get their education, but there's something else that goes with that as parents. And I do believe that a lot of black parents do encourage their kids in regards to going to school to get their education. And I do believe that a lot of black parents tell them why it's important to get their education. But here's what I think we dropped the ball at. Helping a child find their niche in regards to what they want to do and be in life. Because as you grow older, as you're going through these adolescent years, we so wishy-washy, it changes. Of course, we're diverse. Man, we're a talented culture. We're a talented culture. Of course, we're good at sports. I mean, we've proven that. We're good at multiple sports. You have football players, professional football players that were great basketball players and great baseball players. They could have chosen any one of them. So, of course, sports is there. Of course, we're talented at rapping. A lot of us are talented. A lot of those in our community are good rappers. But yeah, I know few are called, many are chosen. But I think that black parents need to help their child find their niche in addition to telling them why it's important to get their education. Because believe it or not, man, your child may be that one who
you just never know
who is good at being an influencer on social media. Your child very well could be that one. But it'll be up to that parent to kind of pour into that child to help them navigate that.
Yeah, and I think another thing is always that exception to the rule. That one exception that all people love to use for an example to say this person didn't finish high school or this person didn't finish. Take for example D.L. Hughley. He didn't. I think he got his GED. He dropped out of high school, got his GED. So people love to use him. He's successful. He got it. And well, he worked probably a little extra harder.
He had to.
Than the normal person that actually got that degree or actually went on.
Let me tell you why he had to. He had to work harder because he knew what he didn't have. And had he not put in what he put in to get where he was going to get, he knew he was going to be one of the lazy ones on the street. So his mind was in the right place. Whether or not his parents made him focus in the air, I doubt it, because they probably didn't want him to drop out of school.
Exactly.
So they had nothing to do with the influence on him being who he is.
Correct.
So everybody's situation is going to be different. But here's one thing I do know, and Comedian 96, you touched on this, and I think this was away from even us doing podcasts one day. There is about 48.3 million people that identify as black and African Americans, right? And you said that about 1 point something of the young adult females were on, what's the name? OnlyFans.
OF.
What happened with that 1 point something million? That's lazy.
That's lazy.
See, there's that lazy again, because nobody told them, hey, educate yourself on doing something that's gonna be meaningful.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That quick money that hinders people.
They settle for
quick
that
money,
and I think they do that because they want it right now.
Yeah,
and success doesn't happen overnight, so the money don't come overnight either.
So they do what's easiest for them, which is not the best thing for them. And to make some quick money, but not knowing you're gonna be 50 one day, you ain't gonna be OF in it.
Just like the drug dealer, you know what I mean? And the reason why I can speak on that is because I saw this in my youth days. I knew people who would sell drugs, and they would make, X amount of dollars, or it would look like they made X amount of dollars, but they live for the fast money. And some of them now are doing okay. They working regular jobs. They citizens now, regular USA citizens like they should be, not selling drugs. But then there are some that didn't choose to change their lifestyle, and now they on the street doing drugs.
Let me ask you, when it comes to the OnlyFans and the drug dealers, do you think that society plays a part in them? Like, for instance, OnlyFans. As long as you have guys and that love to see sexual images of or sexual videos or whatever you want, whatever they're doing, as long as guys are into that, those guys will continue to pay money to contribute to that. So she's actually going to continue to make money.
But the women are talking about that now, that it's drying up in these dance clubs, in this OnlyFans.
People because you got TikTok and the girls twerking all over the thing. They don't need to spend no money.
Exactly, they don't need to spend no money. They doing it for free.
So, but here's the thing: if they're twerking and doing all of that, don't some of these social media sites pay? So they just move from one platform to another
to make less money.
To make less money, but they're not. It's drying up everywhere because first of all, the simps are not simping no more. I mean, you still have some left, but with the economy, and the simps not really simping, really drying up and waking up, we're like, man, I am not going to be spending my money on this girl that don't give a damn about me, and all I can do is view her. People come to their senses, and the economy on top of that. People are not spending their money on them OnlyFans. You go look at all those reviews out there now; they'll tell you it's drying up.
Thing is that's a big piece of the actual Black American community. 1 point something million of youth adult women. I mean, that had it been 200 something thousand, wouldn't have been so bad. But when you look at that number, 1.3 million, where are we going wrong at? Yes, society does play a big role in that. And the reason why I say society plays a big role in that is because she doesn't have enough self-esteem to not do it. I think any woman with a high self-esteem is not going to advertise her body on the computer for somebody to see. That's low self-esteem, and no matter what type of money you make, you can use your brain and make more money than showing your body on social media or whatever site you own. And I'm sure if you are a part of a site that gets paid to show your body, then you probably paying something every month so you can get paid. That's not a free registration thing, I don't think. I'm sure they have to pay for some sort of registration.
I think they do.
So why are you spending your money towards that, to make money doing that, when you could do something better and you ain't got to show your body to nobody? Because guess what I know about the internet and these social sites and these sites with porn and stuff like that? It's never going to go away until the internet is down. It's going to always be out there for your child, your grandchild, your great-great-grandchildren to see that if internet still exists and the sites are still, if we still get to them the same way. I think for a fact that it's going to always be there. So you got to think about what you putting out here for your people to see. You know, you
True.
can't raise your grandchildren right when you got porn all over online that they can go and look at, whether or not you tell them or not. You know, why that's it's not making sense. So my thing is, just for, you know, Black America to have different outlooks, different views on what to do in order to be successful, because that's the main goal for everybody to be successful. I'm not just speaking on one person being successful. I'm trying to find a medium way to where everybody can say, you know what, I can use this. I got this skill. I got this craft.
So the bottom line is they need to tap into
Whoever they are, themselves.
and to understand
Yeah.
that you're much, much more than OnlyFans.
That's right.
You're much, much more
Right.
than sports.
I totally
You're
agree.
much, much more
That's right.
than being a gamer.
That's right.
You're much, much more than being a rapper. Tap into who you are. And a good starting point is by getting your education.
Knowing how to figure out an issue
What I
is
hate.
education.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, Kim.
Go ahead.
You're right. But getting your education, it sounds cliche-ish, but that actually opens up doors for you to tap into things that you wouldn't otherwise know about had you not gotten your education.
Because what I think education does, it actually allows you to grow, because you're learning. The human needs to grow. A human grows daily. Mentally, you should grow daily. You should learn something daily. You should learn about yourself daily. If you're not learning something new about yourself daily, you're probably not really paying much attention to who you really are or what your inner being needs, mentally or physically.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. And just to make one other point in regards to education, look at it this way. If you never knew anything about business, black boy, black girl, you never knew anything about business. You went through high school, you got your lesson, you did everything you needed to do, and you graduated high school. You didn't know what you wanted to be in life, but you knew, you know what? I'm going to try college. I'm going to try college because I heard that college could be good.
Could be good.
So I'm going to try college. Now you get to college, and you still really don't know what you want to do or what you want to be. And so you say, you know what? I'm going to try to be a business major. Now, once you become that business major, that's going to open up doors for you to learn so many different things about businesses, business marketing, business management, so forth. You're going to learn so many things about business. So my point is saying that, and kind of piggybacking with what you were saying, Slash, and just letting people know that you're much, much more
Right.
than these things that may appear to be easy to do.
Right.
Or that may come across as you have to do these things. I'm talented, meaning that I can run fast so I can be a track star. I can catch a ball, football well. I can be a wide receiver, a football player. For those individuals that aren't talented, that don't have those type of skill sets, school can open up doors to where you find your niche in whatever major, whether it be a lawyer,
Yeah,
doctor, and so forth.
I totally agree.
What I hate, Slash, and you mentioned, you know, the lazy group or people that are part of this diverse America that we're talking about is usually they'll use their ignorance as an excuse,
Right.
And I can't stand. That's
Right.
like I can't stand that, bro.
You're right. It's time out for that.
Yeah, I
Because-
mean, you still have room to learn.
You
You know, they
still-
just choose not to.
and that means that it's going to be hard for them to put themselves in a mind frame to even learn anything else. They're not going to want to do it, you know. So the thing about a diverse Black America or Black American is you can be diverse just within yourself, not just the community. And if you can be diverse just within yourself and try different things that work or educate yourself on different things that can work, it would make you a much better person. And it would also give you I guess, a sense, it depending on what type of person you are, personality wise, would give you the option to be able to help somebody else. And that's what our community is lacking, which is why I wanted to talk about the diversity, because we need to educate each other, help each other, and I guess, teach each other or show each other when something is not being done right. We just don't do that as a community. So in order for our America of diversity to be even better, each individual would have to understand that they can be diverse also, and not just on this one, what you call it, a one page or one lane street. You know what I mean? You don't have to just go down this one direction. If that's not working, you need to think about educating yourself somewhere else. Don't just get yourself stuck or caught in a situation where you can't get out of what you put yourself in because you thought this was the life for you. So don't do that. Educate
Diversify
yourself.
your portfolio.
Diversify your portfolio. That's exactly what I mean. So within our diverse America, black people, be diverse yourself. And what that does is brings me to my black fact you can't take back. And my black fact that I can't take back today. And I bet nobody can ever take this one away. And the reason why I picked this, I'll tell you once I go through it. My black fact today is Araminta Ross. Do y'all know who Araminta Ross is? Probably not. Let me move forward. She was born March 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland. She died March 10th, 1913 at the age of 91 years old in Auburn, New York. My black fact is no other than Harriet Tubman. She was an American abolitionist and social activist after escaping slavery. She made 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including her family and friends, using a network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known collectively as the Underground Railroad. Now, what we spoke about as far as being diverse, where her diversity was she figured out, okay, I can get away. Now let me go help some other people get away. I'm going to go get these people. And she made 13 attempts. That's a lot of time saying, you know what, I might get caught, but fuck it, I'm finna help somebody. They all could have got caught. So her mentality being diverse, I'm going to help whoever I can, how I can, because this is what I can do. Let me better whatever's going on. But it was a good thing that she did that, because it showed other people you don't have to be doing what these people got you doing. Get away from this shit. So Harriet Tubman and or the Ross family, because that's her last name, I just want to give a shout out to y'all. And I know y'all standing strong right now, because that woman had a whole lot on her mind. She was one of the people who helped slaves get away, and I think that opened up the whole diversity thing for black people, because now we can do something else. Y'all holler back. So that's going to do it for this episode of Black Friday. Hit that like button and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. On Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. Check us out on Monday for Music Mondays. See y'all then.